Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to Operation Iraqi Freedom, mass Apache assault goes wrong. I've just reacted to the battle that went wrong, and that went very wrong. And now this is something that's in the title, it says it's going wrong as well. So I mean, that last video that I done was brutal. Like, I can't imagine being involved in that battle, because it just seemed like getting trapped off, people like getting like not forgotten about, but like being left on their own and then being captured and killed. It was pretty wild, to be honest. But we're gonna check this out and see what happened in this, because again, I don't know much about any of this stuff that's being mentioned before I react to it. So yeah, it's all like first time hearing about these things. And although I assume a lot of you watching this reaction will know about this, this is my first time seeing this. So yeah, we're gonna check this out and learn about what happened during. I guess this is an air focused, like, because obviously Apaches are in the air. Yeah, we're gonna check this out.
This video is sponsored by Goat Guns, makers of authentic...
Goat gun again, secure on the bag. Goat gun, the little small guns. If you want them for Christmas, you know what to do with it. Let's just see the ad. Like, to get it.
Hands on a little bit of history for a fraction of the cost at goatguns.com. That's goatguns.com. Have a little fun.
Links will be in the description to this video if you're interested to support the channel and all that good stuff, or you're interested in the actual product. Yeah, links in the description from my video to this video, then where you can find it in the description there.
At 2:45 AM on the 23rd of March 2003, two RAF Tornado GR4As from 9 squadrons.
So this took place at the same time as the Battle of Nasiriyah. Jeez.
Begin their descent from 18,000 feet into Ali Al Salem Air Base in Kuwait. The Tornadoes are returning from a mission over Baghdad as part of the coalition's effort to batter Iraqi defences around the clock. The second Tornado in the pair is piloted by Flight Lieutenant Kevin Main, with Flight Lieutenant David Rees-Williams in the back seat. So far, everything is normal as the GR4s continue their descent into the airbase. On the ground, the radar of an American Patriot surface-to-air missile battery is sweeping the skies, looking out for incoming Iraqi ballistic missiles. The Patriot batteries have already destroyed 9 such missiles as part of their mission to protect Kuwaiti and coalition infrastructure. At 2:47 AM, the Patriot's radar detects an approaching contact and classifies the bogey as an Iraqi air-launched anti-radiation missile. These are particularly dangerous, as anti-radiation missiles can home in on ground radar sites. However, this is in fact Main's and Williams' Tornado on the radar display.
Oh god.
The battery crew springs into action and immediately checks the target for an identification friend or foe tag, or IFF. Usually, friendly aircraft can easily be identified through their tag, but the Patriot does not detect an IFF response. Unfortunately, the IFF transponder aboard the Tornado isn't responding for unknown reasons, possibly due to a power failure. Having been trained to identify and fire on targets within 1 minute of detection, the Patriot crew launches an anti-aircraft missile at the supposed threat.
Mate.
It takes only seconds for the missile to reach the Tornado, which is continuing at a predictable angle of descent and not expecting to be shot at. At 2:48 AM, the missile strikes the Tornado, instantly killing both men aboard.
Fuck.
There is no evidence that either Main or Williams had any idea they were being fired upon by friendly forces. It is only later in the morning that the wreckage is identified as an RAF Tornado.
Wow.
The British and US military will extensively investigate the incident and eventually come to the conclusion that a series of electronic failures by both the Patriot battery and the Tornado's IFF transponder led to the shootdown.
Those poor people.
This will be the only RAF aircraft lost during the invasion. Coalition air operations are also about to take a deadly turn elsewhere in Iraq. The spearhead of the 3rd Infantry Division has reached the outskirts of Najaf by the afternoon of the 23rd of March. Unlike most other cities, Najaf is a critical road junction to the south of Baghdad and cannot be completely bypassed. The city must be taken to secure 5th Corps' long supply line for the advance on the Iraqi capital. The 3rd Infantry Division is to capture the bridges north and south of the city, while the 101st Airborne Division, along with elements of the 1st Armoured, will secure the city itself. With tanks of the Medina Republican Guard Division rumoured to be north of Najaf, Apaches of the US 11th Attack Helicopter Regiment will launch a deep raid on the night of the 24th of March to attack the Medina Division before they can reinforce the Iraqi defences in the city. 60 Apaches of the 11th Attack Helicopter Regiment and the 1st 227th Aviation Battalion fly from their base in Kuwait to Objective Rams, a landing zone secured by the 3rd Infantry Division from where the attack will be launched.
Oh, okay.
At 2 p.m, the first 60 helicopters from the 2nd and 6th Squadrons, 6th Cavalry Regiment, along with the 1st Battalion of the 227th Aviation Regiment, land to refuel. However, problems develop immediately. A sandstorm is expected the following night, and the 11th Regiment's commander, Colonel Bill Wolfe, decides to move the attack up by 24 hours. However, the change in plan means that more than half of the regiment's fuel trucks have not arrived yet, and many Apache crews find themselves scrubbed due to lack of fuel. To further complicate matters, the landing zone has also not been completely secured, and American pilots are aghast to see Iraqi civilians driving cars and trucks right past their refueling helicopters, many talking on mobile phones. The chaotic refueling process delays the mission by a further 2 hours, causing intense frustration.
God, this is going to turn off. I mean, it says goes wrong. God damn, I can see how this is going to go bad. They're just like sitting ducks at this point.
Wolfe's own command and control helicopter will take 3 hours to take on fuel and will miss most of the raid. After midnight, Colonel Wolfe finally gives the order to proceed with the mission. He and his men are tired of waiting, and Wolfe decides to leave an entire squadron behind at Objective Rams so the regiment can get underway. However, when the helicopters lift off, one of the Apache pilots becomes disorientated and pitches forward, crashing into the ground. The crew survives and is extracted from the downed helicopter while the rest of the formation heads north.
Jeez.
Due to the refueling mishap, only half of the original 60 Apaches can take part in the raid. To make matters worse, the US Air Force and supporting artillery assets have not been informed of the delay, and have conducted suppression of suspected Iraqi air defences at the original mission time before the refueling problems began. Since then, the Iraqis have had time to prepare for the imminent assault. The 11th Regiment is making a straight shot north over what is believed to be mostly empty desert. Instead, the Apaches find themselves flying over urban areas where they immediately start taking fire. The streetlights make the helicopters easy to spot against the night sky. The attack has been launched without proper reconnaissance. The pilots are completely unaware of what awaits them. Lieutenant Colonel Mike Barbie is the commander of 6th Squadron 6th Cavalry Regiment and orders his formation to detour away from the urban sprawl. One Apache is badly damaged by small arms fire and must return to base, but the rest of the squadron presses on. Chief Warrant Officer John Tomblin and First Lieutenant Jason King are the crew of Pale Rider 16, flying over the towns of Haswar and Iskandariya, when the lights below suddenly go out. After 2 seconds, the lights come back on, and a hail of small arms fire greets the helicopter. It is a signal from the Fedayeen to open fire on the Apaches when they are most vulnerable. King is struck by a round which penetrates the cockpit and sets the communications equipment on fire.
Jeez.
Tomlin is alarmed to see King bleeding from the neck, but King reassures him, I'm okay, I'm okay.
Oh my god. Jeez, he's just been shot in the neck and he's telling him he's okay. Flipping hell.
Before gasping, you're taking fire from the right. Tomlin and King nurse their Apache back to Objective Rams.
What? They've managed to continue flying it?
A few minutes later, Barbie aborts the mission before any Iraqi tanks are spotted. Success of the operation is now up to Lieutenant Colonel Dan Ball and the 1st 227th Aviation Battalion, which is flying the westerly route. Ball has split his Apaches into 3 prongs. Alpha and Charlie troops will defend the flanks of the attack, while Bravo troop will deliver the main blow against the Medina division. Warrant Officer Lance McElhenney is heading north with Charlie troop when they come under attack. McElhenney is a 34-year veteran who had been shot down 3 times in the Vietnam War.
He's been shot down 3 times before. Wow. I mean, talk about experience. God damn. That is a man. That is a myth. That is a legend.
And will later describe this as the heaviest ground fire he has ever faced. He disregards the strict rules of engagement and orders his Apaches to engage any Iraqi targets they spot. The Iraqis have set their 57mm S-60 AA guns to airburst at 500 feet, forcing the Apaches to fly at lower altitudes. Although the AH-64 Apache is heavily armoured, it is not invulnerable to small arms fire. Furthermore, this type of deep raid operation was intended to destroy armoured columns of the Warsaw Pact on the plains of Germany, not guerrilla units in urban areas. Nonetheless, McElhenney attempts to make the best of the situation. Using his 30mm chain gun and rockets, he demolishes a building where RPG fire had been coming from. At this moment, he spots a slow-moving train moving through the city. Remembering that the Iraqis towed ZSU-23 anti-aircraft guns on the back of trains during the 1991 Gulf War, he fires his rockets at the lead engine and disables it. He then attacks an S-60 anti-aircraft gun with a Hellfire missile before his primary hydraulics are shot out. With master cautions blaring in his helicopter's cockpit, McElhenney leads Charlie Troop back to base with all Apaches damaged.
Ooh.
The 8 attack helicopters of Bravo Troop are also taking heavy fire. The Iraqis repeat the tactic of turning the lights on and off to signal when to open up with small arms. Chief Warrant Officers Dave Williams and Rong Young are piloting Vampire 1-2. They, with their wingman Vampire 3-0, have been violently attempting to evade enemy fire, taking hits for 40 minutes and have already lost one of their engines. Williams spots Iraqis setting up an anti-aircraft gun. Dave Williams is a 14-year veteran and former co-pilot of Mike Durant, the pilot of downed Super 6-4 during the Battle of Mogadishu.
Oh, wow.
He has already been wounded during this mission and descends the Apache down to 50 feet off the ground to attack the anti-aircraft gun. Both sides fire at each other as further rounds rip through the Apache's armor.
These people are built so different, man. He's just said he's been injured. He's already like someone who probably, rightly so, would just go back to base. No, he's now... Is he fighting on his own? Has he been left behind? Because in the sort of edit, the other Apache's left. Is that actually how it was? Or is it just for the actual video to make it seem like this? I guess it probably was like this, right?
Armored skin. Williams destroys the AA gun, but not before his flight management computer and hydraulics are shot out.
Oh, man.
The Apache loses engine power and crash lands in a...
That's not what you want, man. In the middle of the night, in the middle of this war zone, fuck.
A rice paddy, where Williams and Young scramble out. Young transmits on his survival radio, Vampire 1-2, heading on foot, request hasty pickup, I need help.
Wow.
Another Apache, Reaper 6, attempts to locate and rescue the downed pilot. When they approach, they are met with a hail of gunfire and the main rotors are damaged, forcing the pilots to back off. Lieutenant Colonel Ball now moves in to attempt a pickup. This will be the last opportunity for Williams and Young to be rescued immediately.
Fuck.
However, the Apache is hit by an RPG, which sets one of the Hydra 70mm rocket pods on fire. Jettisoning the pod, and faced with becoming a casualty himself, Ball has no choice but to abort the mission, and the rest of Bravo Troop returns to base.
Flipping hell.
The downed American pilots are captured and later taken to Baghdad. The raid is a failure, and the Medina Division is not significantly engaged. Vampire 1-2 has been shot down during the mission, and every single other Apache on the raid but one have sustained battle damage.
Jesus.
The chief planning officer of the raid is shaken after landing at Objective Rams, telling the refueling chief, "It was a bad mission, a really bad mission." Only the Apache's tough armour prevents a larger disaster, but the failed attack forces the coalition to limit deep raids by attack helicopters for the rest of the campaign. The events of the 23rd of March in Nasiriyah and in the skies near Najaf mark the darkest day of the campaign for the coalition forces. The Iraqis are not fighting as they did in the Gulf War. Rather than engaging large Republican Guard tank formations, the Americans and British are facing small groups of armed militia. Furthermore, the Iraqis have adapted after the last war, and have attempted to neuter coalition air power through guerrilla warfare. As a result, casualties are piling up in what was supposed to be a straightforward invasion. Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Apodaca, a Marine intelligence officer, recalled the difficulties of these days after the war. "We all knew Baghdad would be a hard and ugly fight, but if it was this hard before we even got close to the city, how hard would the fight really be, and did we have enough force?" Thanks again to our patrons who made these videos.
This is the same day as the Battle of Nasiriyah as well. Flipping hell. I really like seeing failures in addition to successes. War is a tough business, and learning from mistakes is invaluable. Facts. Like, so I wasn't expecting any of the battles in this series to end with a complete Iraqi victory. And this is just fascinating. They had 30 Apache helicopters. I mean, you knew from the start they're supposed to have 60, but they had 30 Apache helicopters, and they just went wrong. It's wild to me, but yeah, that is the next part of this series. I don't know when the next video will come out, but it's fascinating learning about all this stuff, right? Because I don't know about any of this, and it's also recent, and just having to imagine what these people would have went through, like crashing or getting captured or whatever it is. Like, it's just unimaginable. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and yeah, I guess I'll see you for the next part. And yeah, until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.